Hello again.
Hi, teacher. Hello.
Hi, welcome to class. Hi,
Thank
students.
you.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
How are you? Good. Hello, Carlos. Okay, so it's nice to see two familiar faces. So, Suno and Alaa, welcome back. Isaac, Carlos, and Abdallah, nice to meet you.
Hi,
Nice to meet
teacher.
you.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Okay, nice to meet you. Where's everyone from?
Me?
Yes, where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Palestine.
From where?
You can hear me? Yeah, you can hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yeah, so where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Palestine.
Oh, okay.
Palestine.
Great. And anyone else? From Palestine. Very interesting. Okay. So it looks like almost everyone is here. So I'm Kate. I'm from the United States. And in today's class, we're going to do some reading and then some discussion slash debate. Okay. So
Okay.
to start this off, sorry, what was that? Okay, so to start this off, the article we'll read today is about work in the United Kingdom. And there are some problems with work contracts. Okay, who knows what a work contract is? I typed it into the verbling box.
I think it is the next stage when you uh, do interview with some company and you get the job offer. You can work for 1 or 2 months. After that, you do your work contract with this company.
Okay, sort of. So it's true that after you interview with the company, if they want to hire you, they will give you a contract. And so, hello again, Ismail. Okay, and so essentially a contract is an agreement between an employer and an employee. And obviously there can be a lot of different types of contracts, right? So can anyone think of some different types of work contracts? So for instance, you could have a full-time job.
Agreement.
What's that?
Agreement. Agreement. Caitlin.
Agreement. Okay, so an agreement is a contract, right? So an agreement is pretty much the same thing as a contract. But I'm saying there are things like you can have a full-time job, right? So your contract might be full-time. And that means you work 40 hours a week, 40 hours a week, right? So from like 9 to 5. Can you think of any other types of contracts? A part-time contract, excellent. Okay, great, Isaac. So a part-time contract is when you're working maybe 4 hours a day or less. Okay, any others?
Task
And
task
weekend?
contract.
Sorry?
Task contract.
A task contract. Okay,
It's
what do you mean by that?
it's the work work be a task. If company want specific task and you can assign this task for employees contract to this company as a peer task.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So it's if the company wants specific work, they'll hire you just for that project, you mean?
Yeah, right.
It could be like work, right? So a temporary contract. Okay, and so today we'll be reading about uh, zero, sorry, 0 hours contracts. Okay, does anyone have an idea of what that might mean? A 0 hours contract.
No.
Any idea?
Any guesses?
It seems like a kind of joke,
It's a kind of job. What kind of job?
a bad kind of job for the employers.
Okay, it's a bad kind. For the employees or the employers? For the employees, right?
The That's right.
Good. Okay, so yeah, it's a bad kind, and you'll see why. So, in the verbling box, I've pasted the link to an article. Okay, and when you open this page, you'll find the article on, when you open this web page, you'll find the article on the second page. Okay, so the title of the article you'll see is 0 hours contracts cover more than 1 million UK workers. Does everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay, I pasted
Yes.
it in the chat, in the Google chat box also, just in case. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 5 to 7 minutes, and I want you to read the article to yourself, and if you can, write down any words that you don't understand, words or expressions that are unfamiliar. Okay?
Yep.
And after
Okay.
about 5 minutes, we'll talk about these expressions and about the article in general.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And if you do have questions while you're reading, feel free to ask me. Okay, so take like 2 or 3 more minutes. And then we will discuss. Okay, so have most people finished reading the article, or do you need some more time?
I finished.
You finished?
I
Okay,
finished it.
you finished. Okay, does anyone need more time, or can we start to go through some of the vocabulary? Okay, all right, well, let's open it up to questions. So, what are some questions you had about content, vocabulary, phrases, grammar, anything?
I have one question.
Okay,
What does that poll mean?
what does poll mean?
Poll.
So
Yeah.
a poll is when people are asked their opinion about something, they are given a poll, right? So
So
okay,
it's
so
like a survey?
it's like a survey, exactly. It's the same thing. So a poll is a survey. Very good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, any other questions?
Staff rotas.
Sorry?
Staff rotas.
Let's see. This is in paragraph.
This in para.
In paragraph 11. Okay, so staff rotas in this, so this is an abbreviation, right, for rotation. And so
Okay.
essentially a staff rota, right, so if you replace that with schedule, you'll see it's important to be able to reorganize staff schedules quickly, right, to respond to the weather.
Perfect.
Good. Good question. Okay, so I'll start to go through this, and just keep asking questions if you have any. Okay, what is a controversy?
Different opinions, maybe. There is no one right thing. There
Sorry?
is
Contradicting thoughts.
Okay, yeah, so both of you, I think, were saying similar things. When people have a disagreement, right, when they have different opinions. Okay. And a lot of times, a controversy is more than that, though. It's usually about, it's kind of a big issue, right? So you might say, if lately there are a lot of news articles about, let's say, gun policies, right, in the United States. You might say there is a controversy about gun laws and gun ownership. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes.
All right, what does it mean to dismiss something? Dismiss.
To refuse?
It's more like to reject, right? So this is in paragraph 6, where in the second to last line, they say, this could no longer be dismissed as an issue affecting only a tiny minority, right? So if you dismiss something, it means you reject it, right? You refuse to consider it. Okay, any questions?
Can you explain detail the last sentence of this paragraph 6? It's
Sure.
quite a little difficult to understand. It says if it's true that there are around 1 million people on 0-hour contracts, then it will be substantial portion of the workforce. What I mean, and yeah.
Okay, good. So, so this is a long sentence and it's quite complicated. And they're saying if it's true that there are around 1 million people on 0-hour contracts, then that would be a substantial. Okay, so basically they're saying if it's true that there are so many people who are working on this type of contract, right, these 0-hour contracts, then that's a very big percentage of people who are working. And so so if this is true and such a high percentage of working people are working with this type of contract, must consider this. This is an important issue. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
Great.
So
Great.
we cannot say it is minority things.
Yeah, essentially we can't say it's a minority now. And so if this is true, then and this is such a large percentage of the workers, then we really need to think about what this means, right? Is this a good thing or a bad thing? We must consider it.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Other questions? No problem. Okay, so in paragraph 10, there's an interesting sort of legal term that is prorata. Do you know what this means?
Could you ask again, teacher?
So it's in the verbling box. There's a term in paragraph, let's see where it is, in paragraph 10 that says prorata, right? So benefits to those workers prorata as full-time staff.
In comparison or
It means,
yeah.
good, yeah, that's close. It means in proportion, right? So it's saying that, yeah, so these 0-hour workers will receive the same pay in proportion, right? So if they work 5 hours, they'll be paid for what that percentage would be for full-time workers. Okay. Let's see what else. What does it mean to be on call? We often use this term for doctors. We might say, yes, there's a doctor on call.
Ready for work at any time. If
Great.
the employer.
If you need, you can call. And
Good, yes, both of you are correct, right? So ready for work at any time. You just have to call them, and they will get to where they need to be. Okay. At short notice. What is at short notice? Anyone?
That the employer can call the employee with a very short time.
Yeah, so say the employer wants the employee to work at 3 p.m. and they call at 2 p.m.
At 2 p.m. Yeah.
Right? That's short notice. Okay, that's very short notice. Okay. Insecure.
Not safe. Not safe.
Not
Insecure.
safe. Yeah. Not safe or not stable. Right? Not certain. So insecure can have many meanings. And a question though, when we describe a person as insecure, what does that mean?
That he or she is not confident about himself.
Excellent, right? So yeah, you might say he or she is not confident, right? They're not very proud of themselves. Okay, good. And okay, so any other questions about any words, phrases, content? No? Okay, so feel free to ask them as we go along because there are a lot of different bits and pieces to this article. Okay, so going back to the document that I sent you, I want you to look at page 3 where you have an exercise called Comprehension Check.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do this together as a group. Okay. So, and if you have problems, obviously just stop us and we can explain things. Okay, so who would like to do number 1?
Me,
Okay, go ahead.
if you have a 0 hours contract, you do not know in advance how many hours you will work each month.
Great. Excellent. Okay, number 2?
I can do it.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, after the results, which come from a poll of more than 1,000 employers by the Carteret Institute of Personnel and Development, people began asking the government to launch a full inquiry into the use of the contracts.
Sorry.
Recently, yeah.
No, sorry, we're doing, so on the next page,
Okay.
there's a comprehension check. So, would you still want to do question number 2? Sorry, I wasn't.
Okay, I'm sorry, teacher.
No, that's my fault, don't worry.
The benefit for employers is that they can sack employees without giving any notice. They have people on call. I think it's letter B. They have people on call and ready to work when they need them.
Okay, because in A, what does it mean to sack someone?
Give an act.
To fire.
To fire. Yeah, to fire. So it still doesn't mean that, right? So they still have some sort of job security. Good. Okay, number 3.
Okay.
Yes.
For me.
Yes, teacher.
For
Okay.
employees, 0 hours contracts offer guaranteed work.
Guaranteed work. Why do you say guaranteed work?
Because flexibility is not the correct option, I think.
Okay.
I disagree.
I think
You disagree?
Tell me
Flexibility?
why.
Yes.
Why do you disagree?
Because that's a plus for the employee. They may have flexibility. It can also be something bad if he or she is looking for a full-time job. But if he or she just want to work for a short period of time, I think that can give them flexibility.
Okay. Yeah, so here it's kind of, this one is difficult because flexibility, it might seem like they don't have flexibility, right? Because they can be called like that and have to come into work. But I think here flexibility in the sense of having different schedules, right? So not always working full-time and not working the same hours. Because the one thing that it definitely does not offer is guaranteed work, in the sense that it's a 0-hour contract, because in theory, a worker could work 0 hours in a week, right? Even if they wanted to work,
Yes.
they don't necessarily work in a given week. Okay, so that was a tricky one. All right, number 5.
Okay. Me. Employees on
Yes.
employee on 0-hour contracts might feel insecure.
Sorry.
I,
Employees
okay.
on 0-hour contracts.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, number 4. Sorry about that. I skipped one. Might feel
Okay.
good. Might feel insecure. Excellent. Okay, and does everyone understand why?
Because may hear fired in any day or any month
Right. Yeah.
without any note.
Okay, so they, not necessarily that they'll get fired on any day, but in the sense that they don't know have work next week, if next month, right? They don't know what their hours will be like, and they might be dependent on that money. Okay, but very good, correct answer. Number 5.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Employees on 0 hours contracts often get no sick pay or holiday pay.
Great,
That's right.
good. Okay, number 6.
Can I?
Uh-huh.
The hotel, catering, and leisure sector has a lot of people on 0 hours contracts because they need many seasonal workers.
Excellent. Okay, and what does that mean to be for something to be seasonal?
It's for some months only. Maybe the months of winter or in summertime.
Good. Okay, good. All right, and number 7.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Unions say that 0 hours contracts are good for employers, but not for employees.
Excellent. Okay, so uh, does everyone see the difference or the distinction between an employer and an employee?
Actually, I was asked for that.
You want to ask about this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the question specifically?
What's the difference between employees and
Okay,
employers?
good question. Okay, so an employer is a business. It's someone who hires people, right? So it's a company or a business or a firm, whatever. It's whoever is doing the hiring. An employee is the person who gets hired. It's the worker.
Okay.
Okay,
I
so
get.
here, right, so these 0-hour contracts, they're good for the business, for the employers, but they're not good for the worker because the worker does not feel secure.
Right.
Okay, good. And number 8?
Yes. The number of people in the UK on 0 hours contracts is thought to be 1 million.
1 million. Very good.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, so good. It seems like everyone understood this well. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
No questions.
No.
Okay, so before we move on to the discussion, I want you to go back to the article. And it's good, actually, that you just asked me about the difference between employers and employees, because I want you to look and see if you can find synonyms for the word employee in the article. How many different synonyms for the word employee can you find in this article? Go ahead and type them or say them when you have found one.
Workers.
Worker.
Good. So we have workers. Any others?
Staff. Staff.
Staff. Good. Staff.
Personal.
What is that one?
Personal.
Personnel. Good.
Workforce.
Workforce. Excellent. Okay, and I think that is all of them. That was all of the ones that I had. Right, so there are a lot of different words, a lot of different vocabulary. They all mean pretty much the same thing. Any questions about any of those words?
No.
No. Okay, so that's great because we have plenty of time for a good long discussion / debate. So first we'll just talk about the article. So I want to hear, what do you think of these 0 hours contracts? Are they good or bad?
I think they aren't good or bad. It's just another tool. It depends on the way people use it. As the text says, it could be good for or is a necessity for industries such as hotels and others that depends on the weather. But if you do everything to be employed under the terms of all this contract, that could be that's bad because people it's insecure, and this kind of things often affects not only one person but a whole family, and in a different ways, even health.
Okay, a lot of good points. Any
Captain,
responses?
I am not disagree with the 0 hour contract, but
One thing, Ismail, I do not disagree. Right?
I do not disagree with the 0 hour contract, but it should be fair. We should look at the issue in different direction from employer view and from employees view actually.
Okay.
The
So
interest of
elaborate.
employer and employees should be taught in this contract, and
Okay.
it must be fair
It must be fair. And how could we make
because
it?
it is in some sector a necessity.
Mhm.
For example, tourism sector in my country only works in summer,
Right.
and no employer can hire many people during the winter time
Mhm.
for an empty hotel.
Good.
We should
Okay.
accept this reality.
Okay. So you think it's a reality that we must accept, but it's something that should be made more fair.
Yes, for example, some employer give the 0 hour contract worker their rights according to proportion of their working hour.
Okay.
Maybe it is a good solution.
Okay. So they're working hours. So someone who works more would have more health insurance, for example.
Yes.
Okay. Other thoughts? The rest of the class, do you agree? Do you disagree? What do you think about this topic?
Sorry, but I want to clear something for me. The the people who works in the zero contract, that's his salary depend on how many hours he's work.
What do you mean?
I mean, if he work for 10 hours a day, that mean he will get the salary depend on the 10 hours.
Correct,
Or
yeah.
if he
So the salary is proportional to the number of hours that he or she works.
okay, I think that seems good
That seems good, okay?
because
But what about the
anyone he
issue of
work yeah, because go
and
ahead.
the issue of not knowing when you will work?
Okay, I think if you do something good in your work or in any field you work in, the company will never let you go. Or if you finished from one company, you can get other company, you can get other job in other company if you're good in your work, or if you are a hard worker. That means if you work a lot, you will get a lot of money. You will get what you are, what what are you deserve.
Sorry, I need more light. Okay. Sorry, I'm not sure what just happened there. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. If you have taken a class with me before, you know that I often have internet problems. So I'm very sorry about that.
Never mind.
Okay,
Andorra's problem.
sorry.
Andorra's problems.
Andorra does have problems, yes. Okay. So I think it's because there is only one internet company in the whole
Yeah.
country. So that might be the problem.
Yeah.
All right. So who was just, let's see. So any other ideas on this topic? So we've heard some people think it's good, some people think it should be changed.
Yes, teacher, I think we can't judge it as uh, a totally good thing or a total bad thing. It depends on the employee's circumstances. So if he has a real flexibility and he can find another job, that's good for him to have more or extra options. But if, as the article said, there is no real flexibility, and there is some terms that the employer will put as an obstacle in front of the employees. So the employees will not find another job easily. So here they already lost the benefit from the 0 hours contract. But in the other hand, some people may find it very useful because they want they can't work a full time, or their circumstances will not let them work full time. So it's good for them here.
Okay.
But overall, they must have some guarantees on some benefits like insurance, health insurance, and maybe the holiday pay. That's very important for everyone, even if he is working on a 0 hours contract.
Okay, very good. A lot of great points. Okay. Um, any responses?
I agree with a lot, because these little things are important to motivate the employees.
Good. Okay, so you think they need to have these benefits.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, so I do want to get into some mini debates. Okay, and so these will be debates on topics related to work, but not necessarily exactly related to the article. Okay, so the way this works is I will make a statement, and I want one person to volunteer to argue in agreement in favor of the statement, and one person will argue in opposition to the statement.
Okay,
Is this clear? You have questions about
sounds fun.
Okay, good. So I'll type the statements also. So the first one is, hold on. Employers should look at
Your voice is intermittent, Caitlin. Could you say again?
Sure. So the first one is, employers should look at candidates' Facebook pages during the hiring process. And I made a typo. It should say candidates, plural.
I disagree, teacher.
Okay, so you disagree. And does anyone
Yeah.
agree? Sorry, so Isaac, no, sorry.
I can agree, Caitlin.
Okay, great. Okay, so let's hear the agree first. So speak for 30 seconds to a minute. Tell me why you agree.
Yes, I agree, because if I hire someone to my workplace, I want to know about this person. He can be a dangerous, cruel people. That's why I think I have a right to know their environment, their friends, their social network on the net. It is give us some information about these people.
Okay, good. Thank you, Ismail. Okay, so we have the agreement. Let's have the disagreement.
Yes, I disagree because I think Facebook or social network in general is a personal thing, and I think it does not reflect professional abilities of the employees or of the candidate. So maybe the candidate is taking the Facebook as a what you know, as a leisure or as for fun, or to talk, just to have a talk with friends. It does not reflect his real ability. So I don't think it's I think we must judge a person on
Good,
in a professional way, I mean.
good. Okay, excellent. All right, so very good agreement and disagreement. Thank you both. Okay, so the next debate topic, the mini debate topic. Unpaid internships are a good thing. First, does everyone know what an unpaid internship is?
Yeah, it's like when you are doing some practice at some work, especially in the medical field, I think.
Yeah, it can be, yeah, so there are medical internships, but in general, it's like a lot of times medical internships are paid though. So here we're talking about unpaid internships in any
University student.
yeah, usually it's university students that are trying to gain experience before going into the workforce. Okay, so
I th
does
I
someone
think
agree?
I agree with that.
Okay. Does someone
Because
disagree?
I
Sorry, first we need to have
agree
both
with
sides.
that.
Does someone disagree?
I disagree also.
All right, good. So let's hear the agreement first.
Okay, I think we should look for who need who. I think the students when he graduate from or
Sorry?
information or how it's work uh, in the company or in the hospital. I th I think the students when he graduate he needs to know, okay, the company or the hospital or uh, employers he doesn't need or it is not useful for him
Good.
specific in the first year. The students he will learn how to do work.
All right, excellent points. Okay, and the disagreement.
Yes, I disagree that it should be unpaid totally. I'm with a special contract, or we can do a special contract for the freshly graduate or new graduate students who are training or who are in first maybe months of their jobs, because we saw many cases that these students or these fresh graduates are very enthusiastic, hardworking, and unfortunately the employer or the employers are using them in a bad way. They may put him in hard work for long hours, or give them extra work, and they doing fine. They do fine in the work. So why not to put a special contract or special terms for them? Maybe not as the permanent employees, but not totally unpaid.
Good. Okay, so you think that these are kids that are being taken advantage of. Okay, so very good point. One comment said, so why to not? It should be so why not, right? Just one little thing. So why not, da, 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 why not give them a job that's partially paid, or whatever you said,
Yeah.
okay?
Yes.
All
Okay,
right,
thank you.
good points from both of you. Topic 3. Employee happiness should be the first priority. Sorry, I'm full of typos today. Employee happiness should be the first priority in the workplace, the workforce. So, more simply, employee happiness should be the first priority in any office. Let's say this.
Agree.
Okay, so we have someone that agrees. Does anyone disagree? Okay, that's okay if no one does. Let's hear how would you defend this argument? So if someone said, no, productivity should be the most important thing. Making sure that you're getting the work done should be priority number 1. How would you respond to that?
I think all these things will depend on the employee's happiness. If he's happy in the work, he will achieve his work perfectly. He will maybe work more, and even he may not look to other benefits or other maybe situations in the work. So if he's happy at work, he will do everything. And many companies now are taking that point in consideration. For example, big companies now usually is putting a leisure time or free time for their employees so they can refresh, can be refreshed, and come back to work, doing doing work more perfectly. Yeah, the happiness will do miracles in the work if he's happy.
Good, good. Okay, so I agree. That's a good point. So there are a lot
I
of
agree with
companies
you.
like. Okay, go ahead. Do you want to add something? Okay. Well,
No,
I was just going to say
I
that big companies like Google. Ah, Abdallah?
yeah, I was said I just agree with Ala. The happiness is
Okay.
very important in the company or in the office, because if you make your priority the happiness for employee, you will get the result in the work. He will uh, the product that he will product it more than his normal.
More. Good.
Yes.
Okay, good. So if you are happy, you will be more productive and you will get the results naturally. Right? Okay. So I agree
Yes.
with both of you. I think it's extremely important. Okay, and this may be the last topic. We'll see. Number 4. People should get fired for having an office romance.
I disagree.
You disagree. Does anyone agree?
I'm not sure.
Not from the first time.
You're not sure?
Not from the first time.
What's that?
Not
No.
not in the first time. Yeah, not in the first time or from the first time.
Okay. So you should get a warning. Does
Yeah,
anyone
so.
does anyone agree completely and say absolutely that's bad? Or even if
If
not,
nobody, I can agree, Kathleen.
okay, you can
It
agree.
doesn't include.
Great. Okay, so Ismail, tell me, give me your support for your agreement.
People should get fired for having an office romance. I totally agree with this statement because those type people are not professional. Actually, I don't want work with this type of people at my workplace because they mix the work with their special feelings, and it is not an ordinary event to have a romance at office environment. Actually, a lot of people are making gossip about these events, and the
Okay.
workforce are decreasing because of this unwanted event, actually.
Good. Good. Okay, so one quick thing. I
So,
don't want to work with this type of person or with this type of with this type of person. Okay, I think
okay.
that I don't want work.
Sorry, I want to
Don't
clear
want
something
work.
to me.
Ah, sorry. Okay.
Okay. Uh, do you mean in this sentence is what's the style or how he firing me?
What's
It's
that?
depend. You mean in this sentence?
No, I mean, so I want someone to agree and say, yes, people should get fired, and then someone to disagree and say, no, people should not get fired. That's okay.
Okay, but you ask our opinion about how should a fired in a smiling face or angry face or something
No,
like that.
I don't. It's they should get fired or not how they should get fired.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
is that clear? Does someone want to give their disagreement very quickly? Who volunteered before? Okay. Well, it seems like we're about out of time anyway. So thank you all for coming to class. And please feel free, if you have any questions about the article or about our discussions, to send me a message on
Okay.
Berkeley. And
Thank you,
otherwise,
teacher.
have a good afternoon, good day, or a good night. Okay,
Thank
so
you,
thank
teacher.
you
Good
all very much.
afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye bye.